Oh, Louis, do you know what this feels like?
Tell me, Chris, what does it feel like?
You know that programme with Jerry Seinfeld where he takes comedians in cars?
Comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the opposite of that, other than the fact that we're in a car. Because neither of us are funny, and we're not drinking coffee.
It's neither of us are funny. Not neither is us.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. And as you can see, we're in the car. And we're driving down... Well, technically, we're driving around Watopia. But in real life, me and Louis are driving down to Norwich. Sunny Norwich.
To check out the pedestrianisation of Norwich city centre.
I can't wait. Do you know what? It's been a long time coming, this.
Long time coming. But why are we going to Norwich?
Well, I mean, by the time this comes out, I think my video will have come out, so they might have already seen. But we're off in pursuit of giving away a brand new bike. We're off to see Sam, who won the Factor from last year's Win Your Dream Bike. If you've not entered, make sure you head over to the website winyourdreambike.co.uk and enter now. You could be receiving your dream bike. You could be receiving a dream phone call from me.
UK only.
Thank you.
Just for people who are in the UK.
Yeah, pretty much anybody that lives in the UK can enter.
Yeah.
How's about that then? So yeah, me and Louis are driving down, so we thought we'd take this opportunity on this 3.5 hour drive to... Well, Louis, what did you want to discuss with us this week?
Wait, what bike are you giving away?
Factor.
Factor. From where? Where's the company?
From I always get this wrong. It's a Latin name, or a Latin word. Vires Velo.
What does that mean in Latin, Chris?
It means power.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Or force.
Force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's me.
Should change your channel name.
What? Vires Pritchard.
Yeah. Vera Pritchard.
I might have that as my middle name. I might put that as my middle name.
Yeah, Chris Force Pritchard. Wouldn't go down well in court though, would it?
I mean, Chris Vires Pritchard.
Yeah.
Anyway, Louis, what's the subject we're talking about this week on the old podder?
Bike technologies. What
Ooh.
I'd like to know. I want to know why the bike really hasn't changed that much in all of its development. Okay, so you had your trends like the Penny Farthing and all that stuff, and you got like single speeds, and then you got loads of gears, but they still use like a chain. They still use like similar brakes. It's still the similar shape.
And you thought I would be the best to try and explain that?
I didn't think that. It's just that you're the only other person in this car.
Okay, so this is going to be a short chat. Listen though, right, we were going to have this discussion last week or the week before, and I did look on a website and I found some really interesting information about
Anything to
it.
do with bikes? Or just
No.
naked ladies?
No.
And pot noodle adverts?
I finally found where the
Bombay bad boy Pritchard.
how the bicycle was invented.
Oh, how was it invented?
It was invented... Can I try... Jamie, bring up the website.
No.
Oh, it's in the back. It's in the boot.
It's in the boot, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Hold on.
That looks fitting. Oh, I think you have to say, "Hey, Jamie," because it's like Siri.
Hey, Jamie, bring up that cool website about the bicycle being first invented.
Okay, there it is.
No.
You keep your eyes on the road.
Sorry. You know, so the bike was invented in like 1817 by a German. I knew that already.
By a German?
But he made this bike that had no pedals. It had no chains or anything. It was just wheels, like wooden wheels and a wooden frame with a little saddle and handlebars that you used to sit on. A bit like a balance bike of today's era. And you just pedal it along like you'd flap your feet along.
Like a Flintstones bike?
Yeah, pretty much. And, I mean, you can see the picture there. Woo, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, it's all right.
I know. But then, Penny Farthings came along and all that jazz. I don't know why. I don't know who invented the penny farthing and thought it was a good idea.
I think
It
it was
looks
more
like
like a style over function, wasn't it? I think maybe it was to just.
Was
like,
it?
I think it was about being high on the ground, like it was like being high off the ground, right, looking down on people. But it wasn't long until they'd fallen over. Because I mean, think about it, right? Penny farthings, very thin wheels. One wheel obviously very big, one wheel very small. It's a difficult thing to ride on today's roads. Imagine back then. We're talking cobbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's saying here, right, that the penny farthing was invented. Oh yeah, I did read this as well. By, but I think James Starley was he like there was a discussion whether he was the first person to invent the bicycle. Anyway, I think he invented the penny farthing, and they made the front wheel big to try and add stability to it. Which I guess you would have done, right? Bigger wheels, to a certain degree, creates greater stability.
Does it?
But yeah, if you have really small wheels, they're really jittery and really.
If you had every bump.
I don't know the physics behind it. It's not. It's more the steering. Like they're really kind of like. What would the word be?
Axis. Small axis.
Yeah. No, stop trying to make words up.
Axis is a real word.
No, I know. It doesn't. It has no relevance here, though.
All right.
They become like they're really
fish?
sharp. They're really sharp at turning.
Like a mackerel in the water.
What am I trying to say here?
I have no idea. Like a short turning axis.
No. Not a small turning circle. No.
Like an apex.
No. Stop using four-letter words beginning with A.
Like a Vesuvius.
But so they no because I think because the
know I think
whatever.
Because all right anyway
bloody know.
penny farthings, right?
So they made big wheels to try and create stability, but obviously they became pretty dangerous, right?
Do you know what they say about big wheels? All right.
Oh yeah, big tires.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Oh yeah.
Proud Mary keeps on burning.
Anyway, James Starley eventually invented what we now know as the conventional bike. Wheels the same size, chain rings, pedals, handlebars, brakes. And he designed that and built that in 1885.
Right. But I mean...
But then, yeah, since then...
What's been the most exciting thing to happen to a bike redesign? Is it carbon fibre?
The best thing to happen to a bike ever is for me to have ridden it. Thanks.
Bit of traffic today, isn't there? Yeah, carbon fibre. What, disc brakes? But that's not it's not new technology. That's just repurposed technology.
I tell you what, that'd be a good question for people in the comments. What has been the single biggest development in bikes? I wouldn't know what it is.
Like you get people really excited, like, oh, I've got cables inside the tube.
Do you know what? Maybe it's tires.
Really?
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, I don't know.
All right, good chat.
Basically, the tyres can control the rolling resistance, essentially. So the better the tyre, the more efficient the bike can travel. Because the tyre is the only thing that the bike has in contact with the floor. Isn't it, really?
Well, what about what's the thing that connects the wheel to the frame? The cassette. Is it cassette?
What, on the back?
That keeps the wheel spinning. That thing.
A bearing.
A bearing. Do they get
the axle?
The axle. I don't know. That's the thing. What keeps it spinning, right?
Well, it's essentially the bearing is what keeps it spinning. But when you put a wheel on a road, the wheel is, because of the resistance between the tyre and the road, the tyre it wants to stop it, doesn't it? The only thing that's pushing that wheel going is your legs and how good the bearing is. The better the bearing is, the easier it is for it to spin. But essentially, the type of tyre on the road will determine how fast that bike is going to essentially roll.
I don't know. That feels more like tyre design, doesn't it? I mean, is that, again, repurposed from car industries? like the disc
I
brake.
mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that a bike was invented before the car. I could be wrong in that.
Yeah, but I think tyre like design came from the car industry, like sports. Yeah, I don't think it made. I don't think people thought, oh, I'm going to design this tyre for a bike, and then we'll think, oh, maybe we can put it on cars. I think
but surely nah. But there was wheels on bicycles long before
but
anyone had even thought of a car.
They were just rubber solid tyres, though, weren't they?
But there you go, bang, rubber.
I remember my granddad telling me a story about once he got a flat tyre in Derbyshire somewhere, and he packed his tyre with grass and made it on.
Yeah.
Is that what people used to do?
Yeah.
I find it hard enough getting a tyre on my wheel anyway without having to stuff grass in it.
Mm-hmm. But when there's no air in it, I suppose it's easy. I dare say it might be easy. I don't know. So I genuinely don't know. There are some cool things that have happened in the last couple of years. Like you say, carbon fibre is a pretty big deal because it makes the bike lighter, stiffer, more expensive though, and more brittle.
Yeah. I suppose back to tyres, they have introduced graphene into tyres now, haven't they?
Yeah, that reduces the rolling resistance, doesn't it?
Well, I was thinking more of a puncture purpose, so it's stronger. Less wear on it. But I don't know if they can do anything with graphene and frames. There's supposed to be this big like revolution with the discover, like the rediscovering of the purpose of graphene. Oh, BBC News alert! Chris Pritchard sat on a bike. Okay, never mind.
Told you. I told you that was the greatest thing that ever happened.
But like the frame of a bike really hasn't changed, has it?
No, essentially no. It's a frame and forks. It's the triangular shaped frame that's been around since the 1800s.
Yeah.
There has been like the Lotus bike. Did you ever see that? The one that Chris Boardman used.
What's that?
Jamie, bring a picture up of it.
Hey Jamie, bring a picture of it.
Hey, there you go. Look at that. So the Lotus bike.
Right.
That has probably been. Do you know what? I think that might have been the biggest development in bicycles.
Again, repurposed from a car, right?
What do you mean repurposed from a car?
A Lotus is a car. It's a car manufacturer making a bike. Oh, here's the technology we've learned from. Go on anyway.
Yeah, what part of that looks like a fucking car? Which part have they taken from a car and gone, that'll work?
Wheels.
Already there on a bike, way before cars were invented. Next.
What was before bicycles? Wagons. What's a wagon? It's a wheel. It's a car.
A wagon wheel. What do you mean? It's a car.
It's just pulled by horses.
Right, a car was repurposed for
Anyway,
horse. Is that what you're saying?
All right. I mean, that looks pretty cool. It's a bit difficult to tell from like just a single side. So is it? It's basically got one fork.
I think. Have we got a shot of all of it? Yeah. So there. Look at that. On the other side.
So why didn't that take off then? Did it not balance very well?
No, because I think it's down to safety essentially.
Oh, from the other side of the wheel.
So they created, and I think the people who banned it, and it was only banned by the UCI because it lost its shape of a bike. They wanted to keep the original bike design.
Okay.
So when it comes to racing bicycles, you have to have a bike that looks a certain way. It has to have certain geometry. So no one really designs bikes like this anymore because like that is way more aerodynamic and way faster than a standard conventional bike.
So would they technically not class that as a bike then?
No, because it loses its kind of originality of a bike.
Okay.
But Lotus then created. Jamie, hey Jamie, bring up a picture of the latest Lotus bike.
Okay.
So this is the one that
more like a bike.
Yeah, this is the one that the Team GB used in Tokyo at the Olympics.
Is this an indoor bike then?
They made a time trial bike, but yes, it was predominantly for the track. But you can see, like, look how wide the. Jamie, bring the picture up of the frontal view of it. There you go.
Wow.
Look how wide the forks are away from the wheel. So they obviously determined that there was so much wind going on in there that they needed to smooth it out, and that's the way they did it, while still keeping the integral shape of a bike.
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it?
It looks pretty cool. Maybe that would, I don't know. What do you determine as like the most?
But then again, look at it, right? So it's all that fancy technology, but essentially it comes down to pedals and a chain.
Yeah.
So the chain hasn't really changed, does it? There are some things where you can get like carbon fibre, nylon sort of chains, and I've seen a square ring. Apparently that's supposed to be quite good. Have you never seen that?
Never seen a square one.
Yeah, square. What, the thing that your pedals attached to?
Yeah, chain ring.
Yeah, I've seen a square one.
How does that work?
I don't know. I've just seen one on the TikTok. Apparently it's supposed to produce more power.
I've seen a lot of things on TikTok. None of them I would consider legitimate. So they do oval chain rings. So instead of it being round like that, they make it slightly oval, because what they saw was there was a dead spot as the pedal went over the top of the pedal. There's like a 10-20 degree dead spot where you're not very efficient, and they found out by making an oval chain ring that you were more efficient in your pedaling.
That must be some of the principles that they've thought of with the square one then.
Bullshit.
So it's like
Jamie,
it's got square edges to it. Have a look. Get Jamie to have a look.
Jamie, bring it up.
Boom.
Right, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Well, what? What, an oval's not? Someone's afraid of change. And that person's Chris Pritchard. Oh, news alert.
Afraid of change.
Chris Pritchard's afraid of change.
Listen though,
he only pays with card.
Think about this.
I'm thinking.
So that chain has to drop onto that square chain ring, and that chain ring is going to go up in the air like that. So you're going to be working against resistance for a tiny bit before it goes round.
But it's supposed to produce more power, though.
Do you know one way to produce more power? Train more.
Interesting that it's on it appears to be a mountain bike, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure on this, kids. Leave your comments down below. Hold on. What does that say, Louis? Jamie, just let Louis know what that says. When was it posted? Can you just let me know when this was posted?
Hold on, this can't be right. Can't be right.
When was it? See, kids, that's what happens when you don't do your research.
I didn't do research. I just came across it.
And like, what? Where did you come across it?
The Tick.
Okay. And what did we recently post on Tick on the 1st of April?
The Wahoo Cobbler.
So you think there's two people having a podcast now saying, "Have you seen those new rollers you can get that have got cobbles on them? I saw it on TikTok." And someone's gone, "Yeah, that's a great idea." And then they brought it up and they've gone, "You're a dickhead. It's clearly an April Fool's."
People, I'm clearly a camp walkie.
Well, whatever you are.
In the chat.
I mean, it looks like they've actually built one. So I can see that you would think that it is legit, but when it spins, it does all sorts of shit. So I'm not afraid of change.
But I didn't see this.
I'm just not an idiot.
I didn't see this, and this is from 2018. So maybe someone's now gone and made it. Hey Jamie, have a look for another one.
Can he see? Can he? No.
No, Jamie says no.
Yeah, it appears that yeah.
All right.
That they don't exist.
Well, that's that then.
Well, at least we've busted a myth, though.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Square chain rings are bullshit.
I remember in the 90s I had a black bike with which I thought was really cool at the time. It had suspension on the front forks, but it wasn't real suspension. It was just plastic tubing squished.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I thought so. Wow. I thought, yeah, this is good. This is what it's meant to be.
Oh, actually, maybe the Airwolf BMX, that might be one of the greatest inventions of bicycles. It had a little speaker on it, and it had 5 different sounds, so you could go along and pretend you were the police. Woo, 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 woo. Things like that.
What about the rear? So modifications of a bike would be putting a tin can on the back wheel.
To make it sound like it's a motorbike.
Used to love that.
Yeah, or a playing card. Playing cards worked as well.
Never did playing cards because never really was a gambler when I was a child.
No?
More of a soft drink sort of fan.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I mean, we just used to play Snap. Not for money, just yeah.
just for fingers.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you do any modification to your bike as a child? Did you have spokies? Did you have tassels on your handlebars?
Nah, mate. I used to stick stickers on them so they look cool.
No, I never did that.
I used to have a little bike, right? And for some reason it had a little sticker on it, and I think I've told this story on my YouTube. And it said 100, right? So I used to tell everyone that my bike could go 100 miles an hour because it said 100 on the bike. Ended up getting run over by a car with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got run over.
Yeah.
Were you going 100 miles an hour?
It was close. We didn't have Strava back then, so I can't really analyse the time. But I was going fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and the talent was there, but the bike wasn't. I didn't have a good enough bike, and it just went straight out into the middle of the road. Bishka.
Oh dear.
Got hit by a car.
Well, that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Well, luckily not the end of my chapter, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I survived. But listen, right? I swear, 2 seconds either way, and I would have been brown bread. Telling you.
Well, brown
it
bread's
couldn't have
good for you,
happened.
so.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would say, you know, me being brown bread would be more beneficial to their lives. Leave a comment down below if you love me.
What's the most famous bike scene in a film?
Oh, no, are we talking the most famous, or are we just talking what I like the most?
I'm going to say the most famous, but I think it's.
No,
I think it's interpretable.
It's definitely E.T. right?
Yeah. It's got E.T. in the basket.
Not very realistic though.
Why?
I mean, where do you want me to start?
Anywhere.
All right. Firstly, it's an alien in his basket.
He's doing what's to an alien.
Right. It's got an alien in the basket.
Right. That's got nothing to do with the bike.
Right.
Right.
Already it's stupid. Secondly, it's flying through the air on it.
Yeah, but he might have had a sticker on his bike that said 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if he did, and he was going up 100 miles an hour, he wouldn't have jumped that far. It's physically impossible. Ask a professional motocross jumper.
It's got an alien in a basket. What more do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
real.
right. Have you heard of the Mandela syndrome?
No.
You've not?
No. Tell me about Nelson Mandela.
It's coined after him. I don't really understand why though. So apparently lots of people think that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s when really he died in 2013. So
Okay.
the Mandela syndrome is when a lot of people believe a fact about something which isn't true. So
Okay.
the Mandela theory for E.T. is, what's E.T.'s famous line?
E.T. phone home?
That's what everyone thinks, right? But it's
Right.
actually, but in the film he actually said E.T. home phone.
Okay.
Yeah, weird, eh?
Yeah.
It is. So another one. So
I've got one. I've actually got one for you now.
all right, go on then.
Right. So people believe in that square chain rings exist. You see it once, and then all of a sudden you believe it. That's the Mandela syndrome, right there.
Anyway, moving on. So, Forrest Gump, the famous line from Forrest Gump, the box of chocolates line.
Stupid is, stupid does.
That's not the chocolate box line.
Okay. Life is like a box of chocolates.
That's not the line.
No, it is. This is it.
He said,
Life is like a box of chocolates. Sometimes I eat some, sometimes I don't.
anyway,
No?
it's life was like a box of chocolates, not life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh,
Yeah, and there's more.
oh, brilliant. Tell me more, Mr. Pedantic.
Right. Hold on to your knickers.
Here we go. You've been dying for this.
The
How
Monopoly.
long have you been holding on to all this for?
Oh, years.
I know.
The Monopoly man.
Right,
Yeah.
go on. Yeah.
Does he or does he not have a monocle?
No. I'm only saying that because pictures would say otherwise, and people think he has a monocle.
He doesn't have a monocle.
Yeah, yeah. But why? I don't know. I would presume he did have a monocle, but
Yeah.
he must have at some point.
No. He didn't.
Why do
So,
people think he's got a monocle then?
It's the Mandela syndrome. I think they confused it with like Mr. Peanut or something like that.
Yeah, they're very similar looks.
So, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs.
Go on.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. That's not the actual line.
Okay.
It's a magic mirror on the wall.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, I could go on, but...
No, please go on.
Chris Pritchard once said, not guilty, when actually he said, catch me if you can.
See ya.
And then he ran out of the courtroom without his trousers.
With his big, long, dangly balls scraping along the floor. Sorry, that's a different conversation I was having with somebody else last week.
Big, long, dangly balls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still fail to see any real improvements with bikes. Apart from that Lotus was all right, but I mean, it wasn't like a game changer, was it?
But here's the thing: maybe it was the one invention that they pretty much got right straight away.
E-bikes are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the fact that now people who aren't fit enough and wouldn't have potentially gone out riding can now go out riding and enjoy the wonders of bicycling due to having a little electric engine on it.
Would you say a
motor,
a stand-up scooter is a progression of a bicycle?
No, I'd say it was a regression.
All right. Do you think it's okay? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Shall we start from McDonald's?
Louis, yeah. I was going to say I need a wee and I'm getting hungry. What do you want to order?
A big tasty.
Ah, come here then.
Goodbye.
Oh, we're going to crash!
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Otherwise, it's brown bread.